What's up, guys? It's the Friday, February 19th edition of the MMA Junkie Twitter Mailbag. We have Curtis Blaydes versus Derrick Lewis tomorrow night in Las Vegas. But before the fights happen, I need to answer some questions from you guys, and we got a lot this week. So a little bit of a different format this week. Going to rapid fire through them all, get more people involved, get more people's questions answered. So let's just jump right into it and not waste any more time. All right, so the leadoff question was asked by like 4 or 5 different people. It's about tomorrow night's main event. I'm just going to choose Carl out of the pack here. Obviously, Blaydes needs a win to continue his streak and compete for the title. But where does he go from here if he wins? Jones will get the next shot, and he has virtually beaten everyone. Heavyweight title defenses are typically only once per year. Does he fight an up-and-comer like Gane? So I think it's pretty laid out. And I mean, Curtis even talked about this yesterday at the pre-fight news conference where he said, it's a logjam, but there's nothing that he can do about it. You've got Stipe Miocic versus Francis Ngannou scheduled for March. So that's the fight that's going to happen first. And then Jon Jones has winner. I mean, Dana White's already said this. He's the GOAT. He's undeniable. Curtis seems okay with it. So that's going to be the next move. And I think Blaydes seems to think that, yeah, he's going to sit on the shelf if he beats Derrick and wait for everything to play out. And he's okay with that. So we'll see if the UFC is okay with that. We'll see if time... so much time passes that Curtis has to fight. He wants to stay active, and he has to fight somebody like Gane. But for now, I think essentially we're just going to have a logjam of multiple title fights that, like you said, it will probably be a year or more until we see that fight happen. Second question comes from Timo. Should Sandhagen get the next title shot? I think he's earned it. He certainly has the merit. He's had 2 good performances since the loss to Aljamain Sterling. But the thing that's going to hurt him, that's going to make me say no, is if Aljamain wins that belt. I think that they'll go a different route. I think you could see TJ Dillashaw insert himself into that conversation, which, it's unfortunate for Corey. But for Aljo, he's thinking in his mind, man, I just beat this guy. Why do I have to fight him again? So for me, if Aljo wins, I think Dillashaw will get it. If Peter Yan wins, I think Sandhagen has earned it and should get it. All right, let's see what else we have here. Rob Smith, 5. Do you see AJ McKee leaving Bellator in 2021? 2 fights left in his deal, and he has talked openly about the UFC. I don't see him leaving, and I don't think that he's not open to it. I think it's more so that Bellator can't afford to lose him. I mean, think about... Since AJ McKee was signed to Bellator, we've heard Scott Coker bring up his name. We've heard him talk about the story about going into the youth center and seeing AJ for the first time and signing him and what that means to the brand to be able to develop such great prospects like AJ McKee. So for me, I think that Bellator will offer AJ an offer that he cannot refuse. And so I think he'll stay there. But I think he's open. I think he's open to the UFC. If the UFC were to counteroffer with more money, sure, maybe he'd go elsewhere. Next question is from the Filthy Casual. How long can Dana prolong Khabib's retirement for? And how can we expect the lightweight title picture to shake out over the next few months? I think Dana can keep this up forever because that's what it seems like he's intending to do here. We've heard him time and time again. He will not drop this. He wants Khabib back. Khabib has not seemingly expressed much interest, so seems like we're not at the end of that yet. But as far as the title picture goes, I think we're going to end up seeing Dustin and Conor fight, not for a belt. And then Charles Oliveira and Michael Chandler fight, not for a belt. Winners will fight for a belt. That's my prediction. All right, time for one more question. I'm going to make it a good one. Here's one. At Ken Petrin asks, my question is, whose punch to the ribs would you take for $1 million, Lewis or Ngannou's? That is like asking somebody if they'd rather get eaten by a tiger or eaten by a shark. So that's a tough one. $1 million is a lot of money, so I think maybe I would be willing to risk my own death for that. I'm going to have to go with Derrick just because Francis, I think his punch against Overeem was the hardest punch I've ever seen. So let's go with Derrick Lewis, but there's a chance that I would maybe never wake up after the punishment, after the injury that would result from a body shot from the Black Beast. And that does it for this edition of the MMA Junkie Twitter Mailbag. We will be back next week ahead of Rozenstruik versus Gane. So please keep your questions coming. We've had a great response thus far. And until then, stay locked to MMA Junkie.